Ta 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 ta.
And it dropped. Just as perfect.
Do you
Hi,
like that?
everybody. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, Heather. Uh-oh.
And it dropped.
Oh, I always forget to mute.
Is that me? I got to check
that was me.
because I have my iPad somewhere. Okay, make sure. I was like, "Woo, boy! If you weren't awake, you are now."
Well, I haven't done a live in a while, so it's like, what do I do?
How's this go again? What buttons do I press?
Okay, well, first of all, we had two lovely ladies waiting, and a third lovely lady came in. So we have Jen from Down Under.
Hi, Jen.
I'm so happy. It is her Saturday, so I'm so happy she got to join us. And then Betsy popped in. She's going to be
Hi, Betsy.
Hey, Betsy. I missed your live with Amber, so I'm going to have to rewatch your little ghosty visitor. And then I believe I saw Deanne in here somewhere.
Oh, my glasses.
Hi, Deanna.
Hi, Deanne. Hi, sweetheart. I've got my sip. She's the one that started it. You got your sip.
I just saw her little night owl lurking video on. I never go on Facebook anymore, but it was so cute. Her little baby was lurking around while the sons were sleeping. It was sweet. And then, of course, the wonder, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
I wasn't sure if this is what, you're 5 o'clock. Are you still? I mean, 5 o'clock.
Me?
Midnight. Are you on your daylight savings time yet?
Who? Jackie?
Yeah, Jackie. They either go this week or next week, I think. Jackie, are you on daylight savings time yet? Because I was so happy because we were only 4 hours apart for a couple weeks.
So is Jackie in the UK?
Yes, she is. So she is a night owl. She sleeps when we sleep.
Like Ben, Mandy.
Thanks for coming. Ooh. So I just want to give a shout out Peter's deck and guidebook, Shaman Oracle decks. Excuse my breath, Steve. I'll just get a quick plug in there.
I love the artwork. That's beautiful, Peter.
Yes, I cannot wait. I'm ordering the deck this weekend and get it in here soon. It's a fantabulous journey he's been taking with that, so I can't wait to get it.
We have another guest. He likes to come in and say hi.
Hello, darling. Hello.
This is for people who don't already know who he is. This is my Mozzie. I have two black
Beautiful.
They're Bombay, part Bombay breed. And he loves to come in when he hears mommy talking to herself. And he says, I want to be a part of it.
My boys always hear me talking to myself, so that's all right. Definitely. I get I'm off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Today I was off too, and I took a little bit of a mental health day and did not. Do you know what I did for my mental health today?
What?
Online shopping. That is so not my nature.
Retail therapy.
It felt good. Hello.
Here,
oh my God.
Okay. No one needs to see your butthole. My goodness.
I haven't seen you in so long. Welcome.
I do not know who this person is.
I'm not sure she's into Paranormal. All right, where are we here?
Well, I don't catch a lot too much anymore because of just still grounding myself and, adjusting after, being sick. So I've cut way back on my YouTube viewing. Before it used to be, oh my God, I have to go see this one. I have to go see that. You know what I mean? And it just got to the point where I realized
it got to the point
what I was doing to myself. Yeah.
I had no family time. I was trying to support everybody's channel, and it's like,
and I had no art time. So I my art fell to the side. So the one good thing I suppose you can say of having COVID is that it got me back into my art. It forced me to learn how to balance and moderate. So
definitely. Well, I'm so excited. Everybody's here today, and this was scheduled a while ago, and then you got a little ill. And I'm so happy you're on
I'm happy that you still wanted to do this with me.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. All right. Some have not been here before for paranormal investigation. And what we do is everybody go grab your decks. I forgot to put this up too. Hang on. Or did I? Hang on. Okay. Or did I do that? I am so lost. Anyway, grab your favorite decks, Oracle, Tarot, or both. It doesn't matter. I want everybody to pull along with us. And what we're going to do this evening is investigate Heather's childhood home, where she felt there was a malevolent.
Oh, I literally felt this thing would grab me. So
right. So for those of you not been on Paranormal before, we use the tarot to investigate. And this is for entertainment purposes only, but it is a fascinating story that can come out of the whole thing. And some of it has rang true with people, and some of us, some information is not, you can't prove it true or not true. So, but it's really fun. I love that. So
I'm looking for my house, and it seems like they have taken it off the the original list, because it's been occupied for a while now. Someone bought it, and before I was able to. Let's see if I can do it this way. Okay. Well, there's the. Oh, they chopped down my. Yeah, you can't see the house. The So this here, oops, was the willow tree I grew up with.
Right. And you say they chopped it down?
They chopped it down, and now by taking a picture, though, you can't see the actual house. Let me try it a little. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Wait a minute. Here we go. Here's the house.
Hang on. Let me start this question, and I will be right back with that.
Oops. So this is what the house looks like now, minus the tree.
Right.
So can you see it fully now? Because I can't see.
There we go. Perfect. Leave it like that for a second. Get the feel of it.
That's not what it looked like when I grew up in it. Okay. The top half was added after my father passed. And to make a long story short, my mom didn't keep up with the taxes. And after I left for Arizona, she had to file for bankruptcy, and she lost the house.
I hate to hear that.
And from what I understand, having stopped by, I've never been able to knock. A couple times I've tried to knock on the door when I think someone's home, just to say, thank you for taking care of the house. I grew up here, but no one was ever answered or was around. And so I would ask a couple of my neighbors that were still there. And the last time before he passed away, Mr. Miller said that that they haven't been able to keep people there for very long. I guess some guy bought it and they rent it out.
That's interesting.
What part of? But that was like, I think 3 years ago, just before COVID. So I don't know what the status. All I know is that it's currently owned and it's not for sale.
Oh, it's not for sale. But you might be interesting if you could ever, right?
I don't know. Sometimes I think about what would happen if, I came into, money, if I would. And a part of me feels like I have to let the past go.
True.
But
for all this, we can do some sort of spiritual cleansing at the end for anybody else who might.
Yeah, I would just like to, because there have been stories, but I'll, stop right there until you're ready to ask certain questions, because I don't know when you need. So
perfect. All right. So, so the gist of it is I'll have some base questions, and then we'll have you start telling a little bit about the stories, and we'll pause here and there and pull cards and see what the energies are at that moment. And in that visual that you will have in your head, we'll try to uh, call upon that and maybe pull some cards to see if we can, find out some information. And then, so there's just a few base questions, random questions. The chat, you're allowed to ask questions. You can use any cards that you like that you feel would go there.
And I just want to add one thing before we go, because the spirit there was malevolent to my family, including myself. Anybody willing to tap into that with their cards, please make sure you have all your protections in place, because I would hate for this energy to be attracted,
Yeah.
and follow you in some way. So just make sure that everybody.
Yeah. And in saying that, I know I did before you and I got on, and then I did again after we met, earlier. So I'll just do it in the chat as well. I call upon the infinite intelligence of the white light of protection and Archangel's mighty sword to protect ourselves, my friends in chats, our guides, angels, ancestors, and our own self-being. It is so, and I thank you.
Let's see.
Okay. Do we feel protected? Yes, I made sure I called all that, because this is, we've investigated the Amityville, but that's kind of it was a story, but a lot of interesting things did happen there, but not as, I feel like, this
extravagant as they may be, especially with the Warrens.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with welcome. Enter at your own risk.
I'll be your guest.
Okay, and I do have to do this for entertainment purposes only, for sure. Apparently I need to hide one. Well, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so do you want to just tell us a little bit about it before we start asking questions?
Wow, let's see.
Like, how old were you when you were experiencing?
So I was born there. Well, not in the house, but that was my mom and dad had purchased
in the backyard.
Had purchased the house when I was born. I can't remember just before, but that's where I grew up, because they had lived at another house and purchased this one. And the people before that had owned, there was a young. See, I'm wondering how much information I want to get, because I'm curious to see what people would get in their cards, because I don't want.
Yeah, just a little step by step.
So just for me, I can't remember. I mean, what age I was, but I would wake up in the middle of the night. And, this is me, I was raised Catholic. So every night I would always say my prayers before I go to bed, for protection and everything. And it didn't happen every night, but it happened, enough. And before I get into mine really quick, my sister has more of an ability to be able to see, which she shuts down. But when she was younger and was growing up there, she could actually see a black mist from her. So that was her experience. For me, this thing would come for me at night when I was sleeping. I would start to get extremely icy cold. I could feel that there was something there, and I would lay absolutely still as possible to pretend like, I was sleeping and I couldn't feel that it was there. And several times I would feel what felt like sharp claws, like the tips of claws.
Oh, Lordy.
Onto, the back of my neck. And I just remember laying there and thinking to myself, just lay still. Don't let it know that you can feel it, because I was afraid if I reacted or I acknowledged it, I don't know if it would make it worse.
Right.
So that would happen to me enough, not like every night. but I would have, one night I woke up while I was sleeping, and I could.
Let me pause you there if you don't mind, because it's a lot of things were happening at night for you.
This would happen at night for me. When my sister saw it, it was during the day.
Oh, wow.
But so this is what I would go through, and then I think one of the most horrific memory that's really still stuck with me is the fact that I was dreaming. I could have been out of body. I'm not sure, but I could see the outside of my bedroom window. I could hear rustling, and next thing I know I'm sleeping in my bed, and I remember feeling like a shadow moving over me, coming through, the window. And when I opened my eyes, I saw a black shadow holding a knife over my head.
Oh, my Lord.
Going down like this. And I remember going, like that. And, it was gone.
It dissipated.
But that makes a lot of sense in a way for possibly one of the entities. There may be more than one, I'm not sure, but that definitely explains who was connected to.
Okay. Okay. Well, why don't we start
with my experience? So at night, with the grabbing the feet, grabbing the neck with the nails, not being able to move, and then that horrible nightmare. Those were my, experience.
So some people may perceive, and maybe we'll explore that question too. Maybe some people perceive that just being, the midnight paralysis. You know what I mean? But it was too real. That sounds too real. So, what I like to do usually when it's a property, especially, is pull cards on the land surrounding that property. So we're going to ask, what is the energies that surround this home I grew up in? So you can pull one, you can pull three. How many other, until you feel like you've got a good feeling. Because sometimes it's not the land, sometimes it's not the home, and then we go from there. So, all right.
Oh my God.
For real. What'd you happen?
Well,
what did you happen?
I typically pull three and the second card. Remember when I said the nails in the back of the neck?
Yeah.
It's not quite the back of the neck, but look.
Good Lord Almighty.
So for people who are wondering, this is the Tarot de la Nuit by Scarabeo. It's their version of the RWS. However, it's a more of a gothic, kind of darker, and they use a lot of like folklore, Disney, so you can tell automatically that's like the Black Swan, reference for that card. So these cards are going to be a little dark. I got the Queen of Pentacles, which is, she's standing in front of the gate to the her property. Now, for me, something that I'll share because of this card.
Can you show it again? I was trying to type in the. Okay.
Sorry, is it a little blurry here?
Okay.
And she's holding the key.
Oh.
Now, which is interesting is with this property, when I was in my 20s and I had moved back to the house, I had a dream that willow tree that was in front that I had shown earlier. Yeah. I had a dream once that was a portal. Oh. That something opened up in that portal. Mm-hmm. And also, when I was younger, according to my sister, somebody in our family had messed around with a Ouija board. And my mother decided she was going to create a fire and try to burn it. And smoke had been seen going into the house from that.
Oh.
So for
Oh.
me to have a gateway, her standing in front of a gateway,
Yes.
holding the key, that's
Her.
like a reference right
Right.
there that it could have been like the tree, but the tree wasn't evil. The tree actually saved my life. It was a
I
comforting.
was just going to say, I had this feeling that tree was more of a guardian, as
Yeah,
trees are.
but I did have a dream that it had been
Oh,
there had been like a portal in it.
right.
Um, but the gate with the key. So already something's being, somebody's protecting.
Something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I got, of course that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last card I got was the Emperor. Whoops. And I'm not quite sure yet. This could
Okay.
maybe be my father. But if you look closely too, they use like that looks like Brad Pitt. So they used a lot of people that look like actors and actresses. They
Yeah.
use they're
Yeah.
like um but I'm just going to set those aside until
Yeah. So
what
since
other
we're asking about the land, that emperor kind of might suggest that there was some sort of battle on the land. Interesting enough, got the King of Cups.
okay, so
So,
that's king.
hey, what deck is everybody using? I got Madame Wilhelmina's, that long uh, Monsters, the Macabre, and Autumn Scenes.
And now my dad, even though other family members could hear stuff, that's something I haven't divulged yet, but other, especially women in my family, had experiences there. My dad always said, "There's nothing there. I don't believe it." So for me too, the emperor kind of also sort of feels like I mean my dad didn't believe in it one, so he wasn't necessarily a protector, but my dad, didn't, want to believe in that. So I don't know if that's necessarily representative of
We
him,
don't. Yeah.
but it wasn't until just before my dad passed, that he finally said, I saw the red eyes out of the closet looking at me.
Was
But
your dad a
I'll hit
Pisces
that.
by chance?
Hmm?
Was your dad a Pisces
No,
by
he was a
chance?
Scorpio.
Okay. Well, that's still water sign.
So that could be my dad there.
Okay. And then, but since we're asking about the land too, it is that property near water or
No.
within? Okay, so
Well,
that might
there's
be.
water, but it's a falls and it's about like a 5 to 10 minute drive. So there's no water, there's a small little lake that was for a park, Beaver Park, but fires, no.
Okay, so I'm wondering if there's a connection between that little lake and, with that warrior. So we're going to keep going, and then maybe the puzzle pieces will start to fall together. My second card I got was the Eight of Coins. For me, that might suggest that whoever built that house built it out of love and devotion for that home, that because it was his home. And then I got the Eight of Cups. So leaving something. So I wonder if somebody, the first person who ever lived on that land, doesn't necessarily mean the present house, came from across the seas to get away from something for a better life, and then built their own home. So it's possible we're getting close to one of your energies that are on that land.
What I do know is that there was a young couple that was living in the house before my parents bought it. They were expecting, they were renting it. But a friend of my father's who just lived a block over had actually owned the property and had actually had them evicted or ended the lease so that my dad and mom could buy the house because of having my brother and sister and me coming. But before that, The house was purchased by a couple who had horses, or a horse.
Okay.
And the horse died and was buried on that property.
The horse was?
Mm-hmm. So if anybody sees anything with a horse or anything, that would be interesting. I didn't want to give up too much, but
well, part of revealing the story and we pulling cards as you reveal the story is half the fun. Jackie pulled the hangman. She said he's hanging over the lake out of the light seers. So I'm wondering.
Well, this is water too in my second card.
Right. So, okay. So there's got to be. So I'm going to make some notes. You can make some notes too. So something about water. I'll just write water. Okay. So our second prompt. So I wonder something about perspectives, well, that's what we're doing tonight, is getting different perspectives to help weave the story. Okay. So I'm going to ask why. Okay. Normally I ask why is this energy here, but let's see if we can see how many energies somehow. How many energies are on this land that tried to connect with you? Oh. All right. Well, I'm going to go with 13. No. No, that just flipped out. Okay. All right.
Ooh, I just had 2 cards jump out.
Okay.
Well, I got 3 of Wands.
Okay. So 3.
And then after that, I got 9 of Swords. So I'm feeling that there might be something with 3 tormented souls. See, I'm new at paranormal. I'm used to doing true crime and stuff.
I know. So this is perfect
for me.
This is perfect.
I'll shuffle and pull another card. And I can't see what's going on in chat, so
yeah, that's okay.
Thank you, everybody who's throwing cards with us. This is
great. Okay, so Jen, are you going to pull cards with us tonight?
I got 8 of Pentacles too.
Okay.
And this is their Pentacles. A white figure sitting on a book.
Okay. All right. So
I usually go by image wise and not necessarily, because it's so different.
Definitely. I have several decks that I go by image and not their thing. So it seems to me, I'm almost thinking that you have a balance between good souls and tormented souls and the malevolent. Did you say 9 of Swords? You got 9 of Swords?
Yeah.
So he's the one. Okay.
Well, let me know when you want, because there is an individual that fits very strongly that is a part of what was in that house.
Okay.
So
let's concentrate. Yeah. Right now, let's all concentrate on the energy that is presented malevolent or okay. I'm afraid to ask to connect with that energy, but hang on.
That's what I'm saying. Try not to.
Okay.
Would a name help you, or not even a name?
Do you know that it has a name?
One of the entities that were there, yes. And we're thinking that he is the one that did a good portion of the torment. This is where, my parents are gone, so there's no way, and my sister, I wouldn't.
Okay.
She typically doesn't,
okay.
Wouldn't want to be a part of something like this.
All right, so what is his name then?
His name was Jimmy.
Jimmy. So we suspect Jimmy as a malevolent energy. Can we have cards that will connect with that energy to let us know more about Jimmy? Let us know more about Jimmy.
Look what I got. I kid you not. The devil.
Good Lord in heaven.
Except it's a female in this deck, but it's still the devil.
Non-gender specific.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
The Hierophant. And 10 of Swords.
Okay.
And there's the water again, too.
Okay.
But he did die with something with a water, though. Should I share the story about Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could either pull some cards first and then see if it correlates. Okay.
It's interesting that I got the Hierophant.
Well, maybe that Hierophant's meant to be reversed, and he's like very against.
Yeah. See, I don't do reverses unless it's weird that one should come up, and then I'll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Jackie got devil too.
Wow.
Okay. Real quick. Hi, Natalie. Natalie and I just met over this weekend.
Hi, Natalie.
She's a wonderful healer. But so let me pull out all discretions here, Natalie. What we're doing is paranormal investigation. And Miss Heather here grew up in a home that had a malevolent energy in it. And we're trying to find out the intentions of this energy, if there were more. And so I don't know if you want to watch. It's all for entertainment purposes only, of course. And I love having you in the chat, but I just wanted to let you know what we're doing tonight. Tonight is not live readings, that it's investigating a malevolent energy that Heather grew up with. So if you have a way of connecting or wanting to, you can watch. Absolutely. I haven't done one of these in a long time, and I feel like, I got to get my feet wet again. But we find interesting stories when we do this haunting.
So I did another 3 cards. Because the first 3 was the devil, the Hierophant, which is interesting because you got the devil, and then you kind of got like the priest-like spiritual individual right there. Mm-hmm. And then you got the 10 of Swords. And instead of swords, they have them lying in, kind of like Ophelia, lying in the water, Then I got the 7 of Swords with my third pull. I got 7 of Swords, Ace of Swords. And it's interesting, I'm getting a lot of swords. Then the 5 of Pentacles.
You are, aren't you?
And then I got the 5 of Pentacles, kind of like the queen losing her throne, losing all of her possessions. Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of like, maybe I should just be pulling 1 cards, because it seems like the first 1 or 2 cards is enough.
It's like right on point.
Because Jimmy did die from a or was it? Okay, I was told by one person it was by a knife.
Oh.
But I think my sister might have said a gun. But I'm thinking it was a knife. But I'll just kind of hang back on that.
I'm going to write that question down.
And just so people know too, after my dad passed away, I did move back into the house with my mother because they had reconciled. My parents were separated all those years. And after my dad passed away, I moved back in with my mom into the house. And because at that point in my life, I had become aware of how to, being Wiccan at the time and having learned how to do ritual to protect myself and how to, when I moved back into that house, I just said right out loud. I said, I know who you are. You're not going to touch me. You're not going to touch my mother. You're not going to, touch my animals, which I think this entity actually had something to do with the death of my 2 animals that were there.
Oh, no.
Moved in, unfortunately, but I'm not sure. I don't want to jump quite into that But and the whole time that I lived there for about a year or so, it was no more than a year and a half. Not once did I experience anything.
Oh.
And at that time, my mom had brought in a couple of people who claimed to have been, a healer and saying, "Oh, yeah, we got rid of," a lot of that. So that's why I'm curious as to why.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. So I want to say something real quick. Even though we're pulling cards, that part is for entertainment purposes only. Heather's story is real, and it happened to her. And we're just trying to find a story for her for closure and stuff. But the actual pulling of cards, even though we do have hits and spot-ons, and that makes sense to us, I just want to say it's for entertainment purposes only. So what I pulled 3. Then I pulled 7 of coins, which makes me think in the beginning, Jimmy wasn't he was trying, that doesn't state his character, but it's like he was trying to build something for himself when he was on that land. He had a lot of dreams, but I find it interesting there's a severed head in that one.
Yeah, he didn't live on the property. He had nothing. He had a connection to our family through my uncle.
Okay.
I mean, I can elaborate, but I want to wait till you're done with your cards.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So, look at this house in the distance.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah, that would make sense. Okay, and then I pulled 9 of coins, which it's almost like he himself was one of these people had a get rich quick scheme. Okay, why are you laughing?
Because my uncle had his friend. Jimmy was my uncle's friend.
Okay.
And they were how do I put this? Well, my uncle is
entrepreneurs.
They were partners in crime. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay.
And
okay. That makes sense.
And then one night, Jimmy said, we're going to go rob this house, or I can remember a house or a business.
Okay. Oh, I wonder if 7. I'm sorry, but 7 of is planning, and there's that house in the distance.
There you go.
Okay.
And so he went to my uncle and said, "Hey, let's come on, let's go do this." And I guess at the time, my sister said, my uncle had a bad feeling about it and said, "Listen, man, I'm not going to do it. I don't think we should do it." And Jimmy said, "Well, screw you. Basically, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do this myself."
Oh my goodness.
Well, apparently, while breaking in, the owner heard him and took matters into his hands. And Jimmy was killed. But what I just found out, which was really interesting from my sister, and I learned this because the Iron Museum is just a few blocks down from her. It's a popular place for paranormal and stuff and whatnot.
Oh, interesting.
It was featured on when Katrina and Jack Osborne was doing the portals.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So I didn't know this until I just talked to my sister about it actually last year. And what happened is that my uncle was at home with his mother, my nana, and so Jimmy left to go do this robbery. And some little time later, he gets a knock on the door. Jimmy's at the door. He comes in and sits down. The uncle's like, "Well, what happened? Did you do it?" And before Jimmy had a chance to respond, there was a knock on the door, and it was officers. And they said, Jimmy was killed. And my uncle says that's not possible. He's right here. And he turned around and there was nobody there in the chair.
Oh my goodness.
So what happened was, I guess this robbery was not far from where the Iron Museum is. And I guess he crawled to there to try to get help. And in the process of crawling, that's where he died. And I did not know this until last year.
Oh, really?
So he died
trying
to break into this individual's house. I know pretty much nobody here knows Buffalo. Is from Buffalo.
Buffalo, New York, by the way.
Yes. I'm in the Falls, but I'm, grew up in and around Buffalo. The house we're reading on is in the town of Williamsville. It's more like was a village, but it's more like a mini city now because it's so overdeveloped. But and anybody wants to see the house, it is listed on Redfin. The picture's still there. It's 363 Country Parkway. If anybody wants to try to tap into the energy, but
wow,
Jimmy, his favorite band was The Doors, and Jimmy also had a crush or a love interest in my mom's aunt, which was my uncle's sister.
Okay.
So my mom said that over the years she might felt like that's what kept him attached to the family, but after he died, because the house when we lived in there, it didn't have the second story. That was after my dad passed away. There was a crawl space that you would get where you push up the the thing and move it over and get a ladder and climb up into it. And
that's
on more than one occasion, when my aunts and family came over, you could hear when my sister would play her Doors music and stuff, especially one particular song. You could hear him dancing. You can hear dancing.
Oh, funny, because I was just randomly pulling a card, and I have the Queen of Wands who loves to dance and have a party, and
that was one of the first cards that came out when I was initially shuffling. Wow. So my aunts, my mom be like, "You hear that?" And family was terrified to come over. They didn't want to admit it, but but my dad was like, "Oh, there's nothing." My dad completely blocked it out.
Interesting.
So we definitely know he was there. And now this entity or the smoke that was seen when my mom tried burning up a Ouija board into the fire in our backyard. I don't know if that was the entity that eventually started attacking me, and then later on, doing what it did to my dad, possibly my animals. That's kind of like what I'm figuring out, and if anything is still there. I mean, it didn't go after me when I was there, but I had boundaries laid. All
right, I'm going to do two things. Smoke from the tree. Okay.
And thank you everybody too for pulling cards as well. I really appreciate it.
This is fun. Okay. And we'll have probably somebody I'm thinking of who might rewatch this, pull some cards and actually put them in the hollow. Sometimes we still get interaction after the fact. So I want to pull cards. Who is the dominant? Well, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what order to ask. Okay.
Because when we asked who, attacked me, we got the devil, me and the other,
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it was necessarily the devil, but.
Yeah. So let's ask first. Did a malevolent energy come from the tree? Was it, wait.
It was a Ouija board my mom burned in the backyard.
Okay, but she didn't burn it with that tree. Okay. All right.
No, it was in the
back. Right. Was there malevolent energy attached to the Ouija board? And and if so, what are the intentions? Oh,
good Lord. That's not good. And this came up again, 2 of Wands. Now, again, It's not a wands. It's her gazing into a skull.
Yeah.
She's holding the skull. Two of Wands.
So for me, Two of Wands represents portal.
Yeah. I was just going to say standing between two.
Oh, that's kind of giving me a little chill there. That was okay. So this malevolent energy definitely wanted to stir up something with this Five of Wands energy.
And this card came up again also. The Knight of Pentacles.
Look at that scythe.
Actually, it's a flag. I've always thought it was a scythe, but she's holding a flag.
Well, I'm going by
when I see it, it looks like a scythe to me.
That's no flag. That's a scythe.
And again,
that's I just figured it was probably an energy that came in to make you believe he was a good energy, but he was hiding the scythe, meaning he was hiding his intentions.
Well, my mom had to burn the Ouija board because it was somebody in my family that had been messing with it, and bad shit was starting to happen. Excuse my language.
Okay.
So my mother said, "Give that thing to me. I'm going to burn it."
Yeah.
And she burned it, and she said that she saw black smoke going from the fire while burning that towards into the house. And I remember my sister saying when she was younger, she saw a black shadow come down from the crawl space and just like rush her.
Well, I also pulled the Seven of Swords.
I had that earlier too.
Yeah. So definitely some deception and a mask.
Beautiful deck.
I love this deck. So interesting. I pull this and she's holding a mask, and I had that vision in that card just now, whether it's the illusion of I'm not going to, I want to be your friend, and then later attacks. All right, so I would like to know more. So there's a bridge in this image catching my attention. Somebody's walking under the bridge. Would that mean anything to you? Perhaps. The factory, was there a bridge near that factory? Something where people travel
in South Buffalo. Well, in South Buffalo, there, you're those viaducts. The tracks. They call it the Iron Museum because of the railroad tracks.
I was just saying.
So there were, tracks, and then you would have that viaduct bridge, and cars would drive underneath it.
Yeah.
And so that's the bridge. There was a bridge not far from my home that was, put over for the falls, Glen Falls, for Glen Falls. But there's nothing negative or anything there.
Right. This one called out to me as being something people traveled under, because there's I don't know if you can see it. There's definitely a traveler under there. Oh, interesting.
And I pulled the Nine of Swords again.
I keep having cards popping out on me.
Nine of Wands.
I got Page of Wands. Oh, let me show the image. Sometimes,
and here comes the Emperor again.
Oh my goodness. All right, let me figure out what that is. Hang on here. All right, so let's ask. Why is this? Well, let me ask, who's the dominant energy? Because if there's more than one energy, well, obviously this malevolent energy. Why is this energy here? Let's ask that. Why is the energy here?
What makes me even angrier is that my mom left my dad finally in 1984 or 85, and they were separated. They never divorced, but I lived with my mom, and my dad, my brother lived with my dad for a while, but with my mom, leaving, having taken me, my dad just pretty much gave up on his health and stuff. And over the years, he deteriorated, got very sick, didn't want to bother trying to really live. And I can't blame everything like that on the entity, but at the same time, I feel like it had an influence, whatever,
Right.
on my dad. And my dad had said to my mom, prior to his passing, because they reconciled when my dad got really ill. My mom's like, all right,
Sure.
we're leaving the past behind. I'm going to move back in, taking care of my dad. And my dad had confided into her that, you were right all these years, because he had woken up one night and saw red eyes looking from the closet.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jackie pulled the 5 of Pentacles, so I'm
I had that
going to
early
say that it definitely influenced his health. Yeah. Thank you, Jackie.
Because my dad was, was religious. He didn't miss church. He worked the same 2 jobs for 40 years. One was for St. Francis Home, nursing home in Williamsville, and then his afternoon job was janitor for Christ the King Church. And so, I'm not saying my dad was perfect, but he's tried to follow,
I was just
like he was still
wondering.
alive, being Good Friday. Nope, no meat, going to church, even though leaving early before mass was our time to beat the crowd. Leaving, that was embarrassing sometimes, but he, he took that part of faith very seriously. So
I think there's a puzzle piece fitting here. Was when I pulled that King of Cups, the water and element, and then you pulled the Hierophant. So that might have been, definitely describing your father.
6 of Pentacles.
It's a beautiful deck. I wish it wasn't just women dominant, though.
It's women dominant, but
giving some good messages here.
Male cards, yeah.
I'm gonna have to get it after.
And like I said, the Knight of Swords, is a male. So they kept to, with the traditional that way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we just went over the smoke energy. You want to pull more cards on that one, or you want to move on? Like, I want to know why. I'm tending to wonder that smoke from the Ouija board is not Jimmy, that you had more than one.
No, we're thinking because Jimmy had affections for one of my aunts.
Yeah.
And we're thinking that this board, from what I understand from my sister, seemed to be separate. That
so it was separate. Okay.
Unless they had been trying to. I didn't tell my sister what we were doing, because my sister would have been, okay, I'm telling you and no more, because she doesn't live far from where that initial incident happened. Now, when she bought her home on that street, 2 blocks from her is the Iron Museum, and just down the street a block or 2 is where the family was staying when he got murdered, and the house wasn't far from there. So it was all in that 2-mile radius or whatever where my sister is. Yeah. So I can understand, so I'm going by what I know.
Yeah. I'm just writing a couple notes. Iron Factories called it. What's it called? Iron Museum.
It's called the Iron Museum. Here, let me.
And then I saw the tunnel bridge.
The Iron Works Museum. Yeah, it was called the island because of being surrounded by all the railroad tracks, because of Bethlehem Steel. A lot of people heard of Bethlehem Steel. Buffalo was one of the main producers and exporters of steel back in the day. And of course, then, in the 80s and stuff, they end up collapsing and the business is going down, and, a lot of people lost their jobs. I mean, it was, but yeah, Buffalo used to be, the crowning jewel over New York City back in the day. I mean, like I said earlier with the Statler,
Right.
That was the opulence of that time. Capone would be there, and all these other people, and just the history of Buffalo, and
Right.
the Grand Terminal Station. Everybody seen on Ghost Hunters, and
Yeah.
shows. So that's the terminal is. That's that whole area there with the in South Buffalo with the railroad tracks and whatnot. So that's a heavy energy down in that area.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me
So what
I haven't figured out what this page of Wands energy was yet, but
I'm just going to ask what the black smoke was.
Yeah.
Or who was.
I don't know if you saw it, but Jen was putting. I'm really glad it's not the right time here.
Oh. So when I asked about the black, what or who was the black smoke, I got the tower. And that's the tower in this deck.
Yeah, I want to find out a little bit more about that black smoke.
There's the Six of Pentacles again.
Okay.
And then, I was wondering if this card would come up. This is the King of Wands. Looks very much, yes, like Val Kilmer. Oh. But he's got blood coming out of the corner of his mouth.
Okay.
He's like basically a vampire. He's got a little bit of blood on the... Okay. So I'm thinking it might have been a feminine energy, or it might have been a male energy that came out of that board. But I'm trying to figure out why the tower.
All right. I got Two of Wands, so I got a gentleman in armor, castle in the background.
On the top, the towers have castles.
Yeah.
I mean, castles have towers, duh.
I know what you meant.
And of course, this is a circular also, so kind of like a portal looking through a gateway.
Definitely.
As well. Okay. The Six of Pentacles is charity, it's balance, it's giving. That's weird to have that and then have something that's like a vampire. She's confusing unless that represents the individual in my family who might have been using it. I don't know.
Well, the vampire, I had written a spread for Sasha Graham, and it was about vampires that week we were discussing, and vampires can drain your life, yet they can give you eternal life. So there's a balance.
Like my dad, draining him,
right,
getting the life out of him.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like, except for and don't people go boo at me. I did like the Twilight movies.
Mm-hmm.
All bit sparkling and everything. I found them very interesting, but I was Team Jacob all the way. I was all about the native boys.
Me too.
But
me too.
I don't like vampires. I've had dreams growing up, different places where I've had something go to bite me, and I know it's going to suck my life out. It's November, and I'm going to die. So I don't particularly like anything to do with
Yeah. I like the romanticized part of the vampire, but but I would not want to. All right, so I got the Lover's card. Okay.
No partnership.
So I'm wondering if.
Well, I did get the female and the male.
Mm-hmm.
Male and female. And you got the Lover's card. So I'm wondering if the female in this card represented the person that wait a minute. This is interesting. I'm just wondering if that Black Mist and Jimmy are not one and the same. Can we ask?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't think they are. I think they're two separate entities.
I think there's two separate entities. Well, this is interesting. Then.
Yeah. And
because he was very infatuated with a family member of mine, and from what I know, she wasn't, but yet she was very kind, loving, very giving, which is, the Six of Pentacles is, the giving, the charity, the sharing, the balance.
Right.
Successful.
Okay, so what do you want to explore first then?
I don't know. This is still all new to me.
I know, right? Okay, we could do both. Absolutely, we'll do both.
I don't know if there's anybody in chat that has really good results with pendulum. I mean, I have pendulums. Is there anybody in chat?
Calla Lily just joined us, so
hey,
let's ask Calla Lizzie. Do you do? She says she's not a vampire lover either.
No, she gets kind of scared. I know with some of my true crime, I think some of that was too disturbing too, if I remember correctly.
Okay, Calla Lizzie, this is the Paranormal Investigation. Welcome.
And this just jumped out the death card.
Yeah. Okay.
She's pretty cool. I like the death card in this deck.
That is beautiful. I can't help but to wonder if there was a death that was involved way back when, before your aunt and something. It's like this guy is not interested in this woman here, and she's all over him. And did she kill him out of jealousy?
Well, couldn't lovers also represent like a sort of, not necessarily an intimate relationship between a couple, but it could be a relationship that like business or personal.
Teresa came in. Hi. Hugs.
Hey, TK. Hugs.
Okay. Teresa, you have pendulum? Do you do pendulums? I have pendulums, but I haven't worked with them very often. Okay, so right now
to do pendulum.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. Why is or was Jimmy's energy there with you?
Oh, I can pretty much know why, because of my connection with my family, but
right.
I mean, lived that kind of life. He didn't want to go to the light. That's for sure.
Okay, so what's Jimmy's intentions of being there in your house?
I mean, none of my family have stepped in that house since 1998.
How many children were you?
There were 3 of us. Interesting. Yeah.
I was wondering earlier. I want to know if he was actually protecting you, trying to protect the children.
Jimmy? Oh.
Well, people who pass who have a bad lifestyle and they're mean and stuff, once they pass over, sometimes they come back to actually protect people, I've heard.
Yeah, but I don't know about
Look, so I've got the Knight of Cups for Jimmy, which to me is that knight in shining armor guy. Look at the castle again, though. There's something to do, I think, overseas with the castle. And then I got the Queen of Swords. So it could be, like you said, he wanted to romance your aunt. Was your aunt's friend? Well,
was it? It was one of my aunts.
One of your aunts.
Okay. And she wanted nothing to do with him.
Right.
From what I understand.
But, so was there a period, you said that your dad didn't live with you guys there?
No, we didn't live at the house. My mom and I left in 1985. And my brother stayed with my dad for a while, but then my brother moved out. And my dad lived on his own. And, I mean, my dad made his decisions. He made his choices. But I just feel like that energy had to have been drawn to that and just took advantage of the sadness, the anger, the despair, and whatnot. Yeah, I'm clouding up here.
Yeah.
I may need to take a break or think of a different.
Okay.
I'm just curious if any of those negative entities or energies are still at the house.
Okay. Let's do that.
Because it would break my heart to know that, anybody, living there would have to go through what we did.
Yeah.
I would love for that land to find peace, that home to find peace.
Yeah, that's what we're definitely going to end this with. Hang on. Jen says perhaps there was a female in spirit who was jealous that Jimmy loved the aunt. Well, I'm wondering because I had pulled this card earlier, and I just think there was also a female spirit there.
Well, I had one good experience with the spirit world, living at that house, and it was after my aunt Carla passed away from cancer. 2 weeks after her funeral, I woke up one night hearing my name called, and I remember opening my eyes. I was like 9, 10 years old, and I saw her standing at the end of my bed, glowing, thin, smiling, beautiful white light flowing around her. And then I closed my eyes and she was gone. But the attack still continued after that.
Interesting. Because look how glowy she looks.
Yeah.
So we can check her out if you want to. But Teresa does have pendulums. Do you want to ask her to ask something?
Yeah. And this is TK, right?
TK, yeah.
Okay. TK, can you ask your pendulum for me and make sure you're grounded and protected, honey? Because this was some nasty energy at the house. Can you ask if the entity that was attacking myself and had attacked my sister at that house was an individual by the name of Jimmy? And if it doesn't give you an answer, that's okay. I may not be meant to know. Sometimes there are things that we're not supposed to know until maybe when the life is over or later on,
So I did ask about a female energy, and I got the world and the moon. So, and look how pristine she looks. So maybe it was a woman who is a hierarchy family that was there, who perhaps traveled the world or traveled through men. It was very into the mystics. This moon energy for me.
I would like to know who that was. It was definitely not my immediate family.
Right.
I did have a great aunt who told my mom that there was something special about me, that I was like her favorite great grandchild. She died when I was 2, so I never got to meet her, and her name was Magdalena.
Oh, I love that name.
Yep.
So maybe that was her watching over you.
Possibly. I mean, from what my sister experienced and what at least thank God it wasn't happening to me every night. And growing up, I was always like, okay, I was a good girl. I believed in Jesus. I believed in God, and I said my prayers, and I was a good Catholic girl. I mean, I was good. I tried to be as good as I could, and I did everything I was supposed to, and I said my prayers of protection and whatnot. And yet, this thing still came through. And as I grew older, I realized that, you know what, some spirits aren't affected by another person's faith. Some, that's why when you watch some of these shows, like I love the Dead Files, sometimes Amy says you need a Wiccan, sometimes you need a witch. Sometimes you need a physical medium. Sometimes you
Yeah.
need a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
It depends on what that person believed in that life, and what kind of, spiritual, connection or effect that it would have.
Yeah.
And sometimes it may have been a lower level energy where nothing really at all could really do anything. I mean,
And in this image again is water. So there's still a lot about the water, and
something feminine, yeah.
Oh, that's a castle in the background or not. But
You know what's interesting is that castle. We actually do have, I don't know if it's still standing. It should be, but it's private property now. You can't go to it. But there was a gentleman in the village of Williamsville. It was maybe a 5-minute drive from my house, but there was an actual castle. It's small. It wasn't like a big castle, but it was built, taken apart from what I understand, brought to our village from this person across seas who built
Oh my gosh.
this castle, but it had no connection with our family though. I only got to actually see it in person and got to walk on the property because I was friends with this one woman that I worked with, and this was back in like '98. And now you can't even get near it or go or see it. So
yeah,
but that's interesting.
Yeah, because I'm really seeing a lot of some and you got several entities there. I'm sure of it, but I really feel like one or two of them are coming from overseas, and they were well to do. But real quick, TK says she asked the pendulum your question, and it gave her a yes. What was your question again?
I asked if Jimmy was the one that was terrorizing my sister and I.
Okay.
That's
I
what
would like
thought.
her to also ask TK if you would ask your pendulum if there was another entity also attacking. Oh, and I also got the 8 of Swords when I was pulling on the woman. So.
Oh boy.
She could have been trapped here.
And there she is holding a dagger.
Oh goodness.
This is the 5 of Swords.
This is my woman here.
So for this card here, she's someone that will protect herself and the ones that she loves at no cost. So it's like a protective card. But also it's like, this could be somebody who's not nice either.
Well, just like I mentioned earlier about that Lover's card, it looked like there was a jealous woman. And even though there wasn't a blade in this picture, let me find it again. That's how I felt. Yeah.
9 of Pentacles, another female.
Oh, I love that card.
Yeah, aren't these?
I love the images. And then you using it in this way, I still may get that one then.
And then this is the chariot. Chariot's really cool in this deck. It's a woman sitting on a flying carpet. She's in control.
Cool.
It's not a typical. And there is a she's holding a chess piece in each hand. One is a knight, and yeah, they're both knights. There's the horses. Duh. And there's like the palace, the castle behind her.
How cool.
So yeah.
All right. She said a no to that other entity. It's interesting because
TK, when I was younger, my sister told me, well, I just found out, but my sister told me that way back in the day, my mom had to, she burned a Ouija board in our backyard because somebody, either I think it was in the family, had been playing around with it. And she felt like the way to get rid of it, the spirit, was to burn it. And we were wondering if that smoke, that spirit that my mom saw leave the board and go into the house, if that was an individual entity, or if that and Jimmy were the same thing. And that's how his spirit got brought to the house, was somebody was trying to contact him through the board after his death, and that's what brought him into the house.
Oh, they were trying to contact Jimmy?
I don't know. I'm
saying. Oh, you don't know who? Okay.
No.
She says she's pulling from the Game of Calla Lily is pulling from Game of Thrones. 5 of Coins is Arya.
Okay.
Blind is her begging bowl, and then the Queen of Coins is Diana, Queen of the Thorns. Okay.
See, a lot of female energy. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay. Then, so one of my questions I have written down is why the energy was there. But we have 2 to 3 energies we're talking about. Jackie had gotten 2 of Swords, blindfolded female with crows backing out. What deck are you using, Jackie? Oh, that's the Light Seers.
Oh, geez.
I think that. Didn't you say Light Seers, Jackie? Wow. I was gonna say, yeah. So there's something about this female energy. Interesting. I'm just wondering. She said yes.
More of that energy. I wonder if
like she was kept prisoner, but not like in the dungeon or anything. But and it made her go insane. Something made her go insane, perhaps. Perhaps. Again, let me just. This is all interesting stuff, though, right?
Now, I did have a family member on my mom's side that did die in a mental institution.
Interesting.
But her life was hell at the hands of her husband, at her son. And I don't think she would have messed with anything that was of the occult. Right. But when you said that it...
TK, can you ask if there's 2 female energies? 2 different female energies?
And that card flew out as I was talking about her, the High Priestess.
There's 2. There's.
So I'm wondering if, and I just looked at the bottom of my deck, and the Hermit is also a female. But
so we got Jimmy and 2 women. There's that Lover's card. No, just
I don't know.
Okay, so let's ask. Which one do you want to ask first? Why are they there?
I don't know if they still are there. That's the whole thing.
Why were they there? Why were they there with you?
Why were the malevolent spirits there, or entities there?
Why were the malevolent energies there?
Well, we already know that Jimmy is one of them.
Right. Well, I
still think it was because of, one of my aunts that he was in love with. He was in love with one of my aunts.
I can't also help but wonder if Jimmy's spirit, if his spirit was influenced by the malevolent energy to do like his puppet, malevolent energy's puppet. Didn't you pull the devil card earlier?
Yeah, asking, what was in the house, and I got the devil card.
Interesting. I got 6 of Coins again. Or you got the 6 of Coins last time.
I also got the King of Cups. And this is this King of Cups. He's actually quite good looking. Have a nice look, ladies. Waka, waka, waka.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I've done readings where everyone's like, "Oh, can you put that card back up on the screen?"
Right.
I got King of Cups and I got the Queen of Cups. That's interesting. So I think it's Jimmy was in love with my one aunt. I don't think she had the same feelings, but it had to do with love, with emotions.
Look what Callie Lily wrote. Wow, he's
yeah.
Kristen tuned in just in time. Where have you been?
Hi, Kristen.
Fascinating. She was here earlier. We've been pulling fascinating cards here. All right. So I pulled this wondering. I don't know if I should say out loud. Okay, so we're talking about, what's that? 5 of Wands.
5 of Wands, disintegration of a relationship. She's looking down and sad. He's looking away. It's like there's conflict there. There's a loss. There's a sense of separation.
Okay, so let's try to find out.
Time to spray. Time to spritz.
I'm dropping cards everywhere. I got that Empress in the mask. Something that. Ooh.
I'm just going to ask if they're.
I'm going to ask if they're still there.
Yeah, I'm going to ask if Jimmy's still there, because I just remembered a few years back. Well, going more than a few years back, but I was friends with this girl, and she, has abilities. And when I told her about the house and about, what my dad had seen and what I had experienced, she meditated for a while, and she said, well, I didn't tell her about, because she automatically picked up on the closet, because I had a closet in my one. Well, my bedroom went back and forth between the 2 rooms, but the one that I mainly grew up in had a closet. And that's where my dad stayed and where he saw the eyes coming out. But she said that she had seen, her impression is that Jimmy was the entity that was there, but in her understanding and what her guides were showing her, or what she was picking up, I don't know how accurate, but she shared with me that she saw that it had become like an elemental, like just it, like sure, kind of like, think of like Gollum, how he was the healthy, looking, then once it turned evil and it stayed in that energy, it became, a grotesque, a grotesque version of itself. And she said that that's not what she used, but she said, I see something very hunched over. It's like he's hunched over. He's just, I see like fingers with, she goes, I see like nails on it. She goes, it's not a good energy. And then I told her, well, this thing used to grab me by the back of the neck, and I could feel like I said in the beginning, sharp points.
Yeah, like this.
I don't know if he's
biting the neck of this person that we pulled earlier.
Yeah. So does that
mean?
I
asked about the energy of the closet, and this is what I got. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. It's the King of Wands, which is King of Fire, depths of hell. It was a hell golem.
Quite possibly.
Okay, so I asked about Jimmy's energy still being there. And I got this Judgment card.
He's afraid of judgment. He might still be there.
Yeah, because...
That's weird. I got Ace of Pentacles.
You kind of hit something there. Yeah, he's afraid of being judged by going... He doesn't want to go in the light. He doesn't want to... He fears judgment. Interesting.
Oh, look what my last card was, Justice.
Oh, how interesting.
I pulled the Ace of Pentacles, which looks nothing like an Ace of Pentacles, but it is a female with what looks like blood coming out of her mouth, or her lipstick had been smeared, but blood removing from the mouth. Then I had the Temperance card for balance.
We got a lot of balance, because I had pulled 6 of Pentacles earlier.
And then the Justice.
And you pulled it. You got justice. Jackie also got judgment. So quite possible.
Wands again, and then I got the Five of Wands again.
Yeah. Okay. Let's ask if the female energy is still there.
Oh my God! Somebody told me to look at the bottom of this deck from that last question and look what it is.
A judgment. Oh my gosh.
So I got justice and judgment from that shuffle.
Wow. And I got I just looked at my bottom. I got the Two of Swords, where it's like they're blind to it. They're making the decisions. They don't want to.
It's a decision to be made. And
Calla Lily got Eight of Swords. He's still there. He's trapped.
That might be why they can't keep people there.
Yeah. All right. What about the female energy? Let's see if the female energy.
I don't feel like the female energy is there because the family's not there. I felt like that was.
Well, I was just going to ask. I was just going to ask, or was the female energy attached to Heather and her family? So was the female energy attached to Heather and her family?
This just flew out the wheel. It's the Norns of Fate. I think that, and the Knight of Wands, which is a fiery female, and the Four of Cups. So no, I think.
I got the High Priestess.
I don't think she's there.
Did she have a dog?
No, but that looks like the doggy I had a little while ago, but she passed away.
Aww.
I had a little Whippet mixed Lulu.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Mark the Animal Whisperer. Well, he's Spirit Whisperer, but I call him the Animal Whisperer. I asked him about her, and he said that she's waiting to come back to me when I can have another dog. When I get home, that will permit me a dog. But she's waiting to come back to me to have another lifetime.
Okay, so I asked what were the intentions for the woman to be in your home at that time, and I got the Knight of Swords. Remember when I was talking about somebody protecting you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's that Six of Pentacles again.
Oh my goodness. Maybe she was there to balance the energy somehow. Interesting. Does anybody in chat have?
She was there to protect me from
question?
This. There's the vampire guy. That's the King of Wands. And then the Queen of Pentacles protecting the gate, the guardian.
There you go. Okay, for those who came in late, Heather was talking about her childhood home and the malevolent energy that was there tormenting her and her family. And so that's what we've been doing tonight. It seems to me there was more than just the malevolent energy. I can't say it tonight for some reason. So it was interesting.
It mostly came after me. When my sister was there, it showed itself to my sister. My brother, I don't know. My brother's been gone for a while now. So
here's a question we didn't ask. Do you want to ask why it was targeting you?
Yeah, because my dad never experienced it, never saw it. My mom mentioned, hearing.
Jackie wants you to write a book about your experience.
Oh, I would love to be able to write to Amy and Steve from the Dead Files.
Yeah.
But that's not my home anymore.
Yeah, this is true.
So I can't have somebody investigate a place that's no longer.
Right.
But Amy be right there. I could just imagine what she would be picking up on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. So we're asking right now, why was Heather targeted when she was young? This is weird. I got the Justice. There's one.
Maybe justice for the maybe because he felt justified. I don't know. That's weird, justice. Because my sister was targeted too, but my sister and my mom's relationship was really bad, and my sister left pretty much when she was 18.
Right.
So after that, it was me. I was on my own.
Yeah.
Besides my brother, but my brother, I don't remember my brother ever mentioning anything growing up.
Well, I got, other than the Justice, I got this Ten of Swords. That's an interesting Ten of Swords. I've not seen one like that. And there again is the water and the castle in the background. And then I got the Tower as well.
Wow.
It's not answering my question. Unless you.
Well, apparently it wanted me to suffer. I mean, the Ten of Swords.
Right. But I'm wondering if you either reminded him or you were in a past life together. But and maybe you were a magistrate of some sort and you judged him and he was beheaded. Oh my God, that head was in that one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Or you sent him to jail, the Tower.
But I got the Magician. I asked why was I targeted, and I got the Magician. Because I think back then after going through those experiences, I shut myself, because every time I would think I would feel a spirit energy around me, I would get terrified because of what I experienced with him, and I would shut down. And I mean, my mom had abilities. My sister obviously had abilities. That means at least my nana must have had. So maybe it came after me because I had, my own set of abilities. Then I got the Three of Pentacles, which is interesting. And it's beautiful because she's holding a snowflake. So it kind of reminds me of maybe a little bit of I think it's a snowflake. Oh, no, actually, it's not a snowflake at all. It's just an orb.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's manifesting energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the Temperance card. So he probably figured because I had ability, I was the one that was open. And I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use my 3 cards I'm thinking in a past life you were a magistrate or something because you got the Justice. Put sentence on him, and he had to be locked away in a tower.
I don't resonate with it. That's very interesting. Anything is possible.
Yes, yeah. And then, okay, so Callily said he was focused on your aunt and perhaps transferred that energy to you and your sister.
Oh, geez. So I decided to grab a different deck. And it's Kristen Louise's runes deck. Oh. And interesting. I asked why. And the first card I got is a little, maybe Kristen can help me understand this one, but Sacred Pause. Mm-hmm. But then I got Fellow Traveler, which means to me that I could connect spirit like the other women in my family.
Right.
And look what the other card was. Justice.
That sure is coming up a lot.
So Justice is really coming up a lot.
Kristen says she got 6 of Pentacles. You had a good heart, and this compelled him for some reason. Jackie got Lovers and the 8 of Cups.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm still... okay. So I got Invocation. Now, I did not invoke him, but I think this might represent the person who, with the board, might have been trying to bring in.
Okay.
And then I got Othala, which is home.
Okay.
There's home.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last card I got was hailstorm. So I'm thinking someone pulled him in through the board. My mom burned it.
Mm-hmm.
Became trapped in the house.
Yeah.
And that made them very angry.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I love that one. Jen is saying, perhaps justice represents that it was a part of Heather's spiritual contract for this lifetime. Interesting. Interesting.
Hmm.
And then Callie pulled the devil and the magician in reverse, the Five of Cups. He was lonely and malevolent and could only see his own sorrow and anger.
Wow.
And Jackie says, ooh. This is fascinating. All right, where are we? We are at 8:30. Can you think of any other questions you might have?
So we already asked if he's still there. We got the yes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, can we ask if he's tormenting anybody else that's living in that house?
Okay.
Because Mr. Miller told me before he passed away that people, they really could keep people to stay at that house. They were like gone within 4 to 6 months.
Wow. So they won't stay.
So
right.
I don't know who's there now and how long they've been there.
Okay. All right. Is this malevolent energy still tormenting
The living.
the living occupants in this home? Is he still making himself known? Wait, I got this one.
And it's interesting we're doing this reading on Good Friday.
Oh.
No, because I was thinking that in the beginning I pulled those two girls, the two of cups, but instead of cups, they were standing in front of a cross.
That's
cross.
That's right. Oh, how weird. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so I got Page of Cups and Page of Swords. So, what's interesting to me is look at this page.
Oh, that dark eyes. That's kind of.
If that's not malevolent, she got that sword. So I'm saying yes. I hate to say this, but it is on my mind since I got two pages. The next page is Page of Cups. So he thinks it's a romantic thing. He loves to do it. He's enjoying it. And being the pages, the thought came to me, he's only just beginning. With you, maybe that was with you. That was just the beginning.
Wow.
His malevolent journey. Go away. Go away. Go away. Jackie got Four of Wands and King of Wands. He feels that's his home. And wands are both, that's fiery. Like I said before, that fiery depths of hell. He's made that place his home. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I got the Four Wands too.
Yeah, he needs to be exorcised out.
Okay, let's see. 3 cards throughout too. 9 of Swords, the Hermit, and the Star. That's interesting.
Jackie says there's a line behind that king and could be about to attack from behind. They're very stealthy lions. They are hiding they remain hidden until they attack. Interesting.
9 of Cups.
Okay, I want to ask something quick.
Okay, I'm just going, because right now I'm getting really discombobulated messages here, so I'm going to need my sign to say.
All right, well, let me ask this. Are there any energies there protecting the occupants, each occupant of the house? Is there any protective energies in that house helping? So I got my signal for yes, which is a sensation on my left temple. And okay, interesting. I got 8 of Wands. To me, that's like throwing up protection. And look, look at this. There's weird beings below.
Ooh, yeah.
But they can't rise up because somebody has put protection. Tell me more about the protective energies of the home. Okay. 10 of Coins. This is for entertainment purposes only, but it's like there's an actual couple that is protecting that home. This is 10 of Coins. 10 of Coins is all about family. It's all about lineage and protecting what you have.
So along with my parents.
Interesting.
Because 3 different families, as far as I know, lived in that house. The people, the husband and wife that had the horse, because it used to be farmland, and the horse that's buried on their property. Then there was the young couple that was ready to expect, and they were asked to leave because the house ended up being sold to my father. So it must be one of those 3 families that could be the ones that are protecting that land.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
Scott,
hoping
this is far beyond fashionably late.
Hi, Scott.
I didn't realize he had a live before our live. Calla Lily wants you. Calla Lily, what do you mean by give that line up to me again, please, Heather? Do you know what she means?
So there were 3 separate families.
Not Kristen.
That
was before you said all that. Was there a question that you'd asked? Calla Lily, put in the chat what you mean. Scott.
Yeah, there was a couple that owned that house, and apparently they had painted the house pink.
Oh my God. That's where John Mellencamp got his song from.
Pink House.
Your house.
I don't know. But they had, I think they had multiple farm animals. I know they had a horse, and when it died, it was buried in the backyard. I knew where it was, and I mean, I didn't try digging it up or anything like that, but I grew up knowing that that's where, and my sister confirmed it for me all these years later that, yeah, that was true. And then it went to a young couple that was expecting a family, and they were told to leave so that they could sell, so that the owner could sell the house to my parents. I felt really awful about that. My sister was like, well, it wasn't Dad's fault. And I'm just like, no, but still, we, just the feeling of having a family basically evicted, told to leave.
Right.
And it's a young couple and they have a child on the way, or just had a young child,
Yeah. Interesting.
Well,
go ahead.
No, and then it was my family. So if there's a male and a female protecting it, it could be either the original people that occupied the house, maybe my parents. I don't know. My mom and I didn't end on a good relationship, so I don't reach out and connect with my mother.
Right.
Not ready to yet.
Yeah,
But
I
my,
understand
my
that.
dad and I are good, but occasionally I still have dreams about the house, though. And there's also always weird things going on in my dreams
Yeah.
when it comes to the house, with
Yeah.
seeing a UFO over it, for
Oh
one.
wow,
Uh,
yeah.
again, I had a dream about a portal one time with things I
Well,
did.
let's ask this question before I tell you what I just asked and got the card for. Is there otherworldly energies also? Is there also otherworldly energies connected with the?
I really think that there's something on that property that was there before any homes were built, or if they had been, before.
Now you just opened another Pandora's box for me.
Because I did have that dream in my 20s that that willow tree, you know, I had seen a light, like a portal, a very oval, portal open up. And I remember, trying to protect the house, saying, "You can't harm me," um,
Right.
this and that. So, and that tree actually saved my life as an adult. I was visiting my parents before my dad passed away, and I was sleeping in the living room on the couch, and it's a brick building. It's one of those old fashioned bricks, and a guy was out drinking, lost control of his truck, and came right for the house, but the tree just caught the side of the truck and stopped it. If that tree hadn't been there that caught and stopped the truck
Yeah.
would have gone right, plowed right through to the front living room window, right into where I was sleeping. I probably would have been killed.
Oh my gosh. So it did.
So that tree, so when I saw them that they had cut that tree down, it broke
Oh,
my heart, because
oh,
that
I'm
was a
sure.
tree. Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, why would anybody cut a willow tree? Because I love willow trees. So I asked about the otherworldly energies having a connection with your home, and I got the Six of Cups. That's all about memories and
Energy, intuition.
um, um, and I got the Nine of Cups.
Nine of Cups celebration.
Oh, maybe they're happy you figured that out.
Yeah.
Is there a message from the otherworldly beings to Heather, please? Okay. Four of Swords. You need to be healing from this situation, this whole thing.
Yeah, I think after tonight, no more reading on the
Yeah.
house. I mean, my sister and I might talk, probably again about the house at some
Right.
point.
Yeah. But definitely there's healing to be made. I'm thinking maybe this whole thing tonight would be a healing for you. I had asked, are the occupants safe in this home? And I got this beautiful Ace of Cups.
Well, they keep getting, they seem to be keep leaving. So
they keep leaving, but
in the meantime, unless somebody actually brought, or someone knows how to protect themselves from this thing, and I just call him. It's this, after all these years, and from what my friend had described at the time, what it looked like, because when you live like that, you tend to, like Amy Allen says, a spirit will, once it's, in an area or in a certain state, it will sometimes turn into something, or present itself as something that, you know, to terrorize people, or, something that it becomes.
right.
And it could
It
very
brings me
well
back
be.
to that scythe slash flag that you had earlier.
Yeah.
So Kyle Lily asked, was there something going on with the land before there was any houses or people? She got the Ten of Swords.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just, back to our first question way back then, you got that warrior card to me. There's definitely, pretty much over all the states, there's always battles that have been had. So it doesn't surprise me that I don't know about Buffalo though. The Battle of the Buffalo.
Well, there's even where I'm at now. I live near, I'm up in Niagara Falls, and we're near, the ports and stuff where, the fort,
Yeah,
not the ports, the forts.
Fort.
And
Uh-huh.
just everyone says, "Oh, this house was it was built on a ancient, Indian burial ground." I'm like,
Yeah, aren't they all?
they all are. We took over their land. We took it away from them. Of course, we're going to build pretty much almost everything's going to be built on, a sacred site or a burial or,
Yeah.
places where, battles have been fought. And not far from me right now, there was, a horrible, but yeah, I mean, watch, like the Travel Channel and, different ghost hunting shows. You'll see them when they go to, to the forts on the Canadian side. They usually do the Canadian side, not so much on the American, because I think the Canadian side is more open to, allowing the investigations than necessarily the American ones. But there are paranormal groups around here. And yeah, there are just a lot of places around here, Um, but yeah, check out if anybody wants to know about and learn about the history of the Statler. Um, Paranormal Lockdown with
With
Nick Roth and
Nick, yeah.
Katrina. They did there, and then Katrina came back to Buffalo for the with not Zach Osborne, Jack Osborne for the Iron Museum, the Iron Island Museum for the port gateways or portals to hell. Um, they, cover that as well. And then of course the infamous, ghost hunters with, the face, you know. But
That
believe
was
me,
there,
it
wasn't
is
it?
haunted. It is haunted.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, they said, "Oh, you got to take down my clothes." No, that
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I've yet to be in the Grand Central Terminal, and that's one of my places I want to go to is the Central one of these
Right.
days.
That
Yeah.
would be awesome.
They're trying to raise money to restore, but it's just going to
Okay.
take so much money to restore that. And it was it was the pinnacle. I mean, Buffalo was the jewel back in the 1800s,
Sure.
more so than New York City. I mean, Broadway
Oh,
shows, they were determined whether they would be successful in New York City if they did well in Buffalo. I mean, we had, you know, I mean, Buffalo was the opulent city, because we were right across from Canada and everything. We were right on the waterways, the
oh,
Erie
that's right.
Canal. We had the steel and everything. Oh yeah, we were a vibrant, booming city, and like most governments, politicians, you don't know how that goes.
Yeah.
Cities fall apart, and
I got this new deck, and I was just seeing if it would work with something like this. So I had first asked for a healing message for you.
oh, thank you.
And what I got was the World card. I changed decks. I don't think there's a healing message in the Wilhelmina. I mean, maybe, but I got the World card, and that's that ending of that phase. You're going to let go of that. You're going to push it behind you now, knowing that who's ever going to be living there, they're maybe that malevolent energy is still there, but they're being protected.
They're protected.
Which ends up this card I got. How can I deepen my trust right now? It says, let go and trust. Today, find your center in chaos and be certain with yourself you can deepen your trust in others. Let go of the wheel. You can trust. You can trust yourself. Trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety and feel safe. We feel unstoppable. So,
Sounds good. Time to let go and move on.
absolutely. And I just got chills when you said that. Woo, all over.
We're waiting. We're trying to be hopeful and patient because we do want to relocate to Oregon. It's time to leave New York. It's it's originally my home. I will always love it, but there's nothing really holding me here anymore. I have my sister Her and I hadn't spoken for 8 years. We have falling out, but that has been mended a few years back. Um, I've learned things. I've had to experience her pain of what she went through because of me, not me doing anything intentionally, but
Yeah.
our mother wise.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to help her heal her past and get her, not necessarily heal, but help her
I know what
get
you
off
mean.
her chest.
Yeah.
I've had to process a lot, bear witness to a lot of stuff with her. And, she's my last immediate family. And her kids and her kids. And I mean, I'm a great aunt already. So
Are you?
But I'm not really a part of their lives, and that's okay. So it's ready for. So when it's time for Shan and I to leave, we will have no ties. Everything will be all, everything's as it is, and we can move. I can move forward.
Well, when you talk about home and moving from home, I moved from the West Coast to here 17 years ago.
Where are you?
I'm sorry?
Where are you again?
I'm in South Carolina.
Okay.
Greenville County, South Carolina. And I moved from, my home base was Southern California and Las Vegas. I call my home base. And I hesitated moving away, but I've never felt more at home than where I'm at right now. So hopefully that'll give you some sense of home is literally home is where the heart is.
And we're doing our best here. We just had to renew our lease. As hard as that was, having to accept the fact, we got to stay at this place another year. But
doesn't mean you can't use that year to make
exactly.
Go visit and find out where you want to be. And
well, we know where we want to be. What it will take is finances.
True. So we're putting out to the universe this 10 of coins. Bring 10 of coins to Heather and her husband.
Well, Scott from Spiritual Essence, he said that his guides were telling me, he's like, sweetie, he goes, I know you don't want to hear this. He goes, but my guides are telling me this isn't going to be the year. You got to hang out there another year. I know things are hard, but just, you're strong. You and Shan got each other. He goes, just hunker down, stay positive. He goes, but my guides are showing me next year is going to be an amazing year for you and Shan. And I feel like financially you'll be able to start planning and moving forward and doing what it is. But this year, he goes, like for a lot of people, it's just going to be people trying to get on their feet, trying to, and it seems like that with everything going on in the world, politically and, banking wise and everything with the weather. Things are just, and people get back to the swing of things now that, shut down, we
all are trying to find that new norm.
Yeah.
And
just hang in there, sweetheart.
It's one of my, it's
my
like
big bro.
I hate and love it at the same time, all in divine timing,
Yeah.
As long as we have that divine spirit within us guiding us, we can be comfortable where we are. We don't like it, but we can, it's how we choose to live out that another year.
There's a lot of negative energy in here, but we burn our cedar. I burn my Palo Santo, and we just never know at what hour someone's going to break into a fight. There's going to be an argument.
It's not safe.
We had a guy, angry one night that we called the police on him, and he started going around the house saying that he was going to get himself a gun. He knew where he could find one. He was going to pop a couple caps in our asses. And the police said, "Did he say it to your face or to your door?" No, can't help you.
It's those
and the property management says we can't do anything. But he's been good. He's been quiet. So I just keep calling on Archangel Michael. He's protecting us. He's my dude.
I'll show you what I'm doing.
And
well, I keep saying my neighbors across the street, I'm like, you don't see me. You don't see me. You keep going past me. You don't see me. So it's like, leave me alone. Well, I want to close this energy part of the session.
And portal. I
And
know you're going to say
portal.
portal, but yeah, closing the gates, you know.
Thank you, Archangel Michael, and the white light of protection watching over us all, sending you guys this energy to close all portals, cut all energetic cords that no longer serve us and that do not belong to us. May we all heal from our experiences and move forward in love and light. Well, I hope that this had at least, well, how's this experience for you?
It was very interesting. It was new. Like I said, I'm not used to reading on. Well, sometimes I do. If something comes up, I'm watching a show or something, but to actually, I've never done one of those with the paranormal, with the haunting. So
Right.
I might look into every now and then. Tangi and I, people remember Tangi from Roman Biscotti. She said that when I find a case that has like a bit of a paranormal twist to it, that she likes the energy. She said she goes, I'll join you. She'll read with me. And so whenever that happens, it'll be, I figure I'll probably call it para oracle. Something different. So
or you can both come on Paranormal Investigation.
Well, I will let her know that you extended the invitation. It's winter. She usually has been, you know.
I know she's been stepping away a little bit.
Because the winter months make, her ailments, difficult to handle. And I get it.
Yeah.
So she's just by summer, she goes, I should be feeling better. And she goes hopping around. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Let her know. But in the meantime, like I said, because of having had COVID and having experienced a lot of lower level energies while I was sick, and feeling things in the building and feeling things with certain channels and subscribers and some readers, where I've had to just send love and light to and say this energy is no longer healthy for me and I have to cut ties, but with love, always with love.
Always.
And so now when I do my lives, I feel like it's when I'm meant to, when the energy's right. And the last few times I've done that, like
better experience.
One night with Sherry, we had found out that Nancy from A Crone's Intuition lost her husband in March.
She popped in. I don't know if you saw that she popped in.
Oh, hi, Nancy. And so we made sure that we all sent love and prayers to her, and we pulled cards for her husband. It was beautiful. Of course, I cried.
Yes, I know. So I
those are
almost every week I go on Mel's channel and watch her, Nancy and Mel, and I had missed, I think, 2 weeks in a row. I was doing those fairs, so I didn't get to. And then I go into a chat and I'm like, what? Wait, what? So that's where I have FOMO sometimes. It's like, I did miss out.
And then
yes, Nancy, we just send love and light energy.
And then the following week, I felt like I wanted to read on a Friday night. I said, hey, Tange, you feel like jumping on? Yeah, my energy's good. And we actually had a subscriber whose friend, she just lost one of her best friends last year. She took her life.
No.
And she wanted a reading. And we were able to help her, give her a message. So for me, those are the most precious moments for me for doing my lives.
Right.
And I'm trusting more, like the cards are trusting more, when to go on, when the energy's telling me to, because then that means there's somebody or someone who's going to need a very important message. And so I'm being led more by spirit that way, and then trying to arrange once a week this and then have that, you know what I mean? It's eventually I think that will all fall back into place, eventually.
Yeah. One
But
day at a
from
time.
a different perspective, from when the energy's good, and like
Yeah.
I said before, balancing my art now, not letting
Yeah.
one take over the other.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's all inside. That's because I haven't been able to come on live in a while either, and summer's coming up, so I hope to do lots of lives over the summer and do some, because I love when I did these readings at these 2 festivals, I just when you know you're helping someone,
Mm-hmm.
that's the best gift.
That's the best feeling.
Equal exchange of energy is knowing that you help them, and fascinating. So, but like this world says for you, you're ending one cycle, moving into a new bit of transformational energy for you.
And I'm tapping into other abilities, but more slowly, because I've been working occasionally with JJ from Tuta Speaks with light language, and I'm trying to figure out what mine is, and it doesn't feel quite natural yet. And I think a lot more of it is my light language is my art. So I'm in the process of waiting for spirit to know when the energy is right. I'm in the right place where I can start bridging the two together.
I want to pull a card or two real quick on that. Let's see if we can pull a card or two on that.
On what?
Okay. Your journey as a light
light language, yeah.
Light language.
And there's another Heather that JJ introduced us to. No, was it JJ? No, Val from Dragonfly Crystals, and Marina. Her name is Heather, and I think it's called Guiding Light or something like that. But she does light language, and it sounds so like Italian, romantic language. It's so beautiful. I love it. I'm like, oh my God, I love it.
All right, you've got this new portal opening for you with this.
Oh boy, Ace of Wands, something new, something creative. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a new
there's the art.
Yeah, there you go.
That's wonderful.
Let's see.
I always associate wands with, fire, creativity,
Yeah. Interesting. So when I looked at this Six of Cups, it made me think that you've known this language before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just got my confirmation.
You're right. I can.
So I feel like you're going to actually be reconnecting. I am just getting all kinds of stuff happening right now. Hang on here.
JJ and I did a private and she was able to pick up on that.
Oh, really?
He described a past life and witnessing things, and that back then there was a lit. So yeah, and all of this just came as I got hit with COVID. So doing the cleansing, doing the healing, sometimes might help. You might get sick, but it really purged a lot of things out of my life that wasn't necessary, and brought new things into my perspective. Oh, wow. Lovely.
New connections. Okay, so you're going to be reconnecting and making new connections with this light language journey of yours, because that definitely path has opened up for you. So,
and it was funny. I told JJ,
you do it, baby.
Doing English, I'm just being able to handle regular English.
I know,
another language. I like saying.
Getting tongue-tied as I get older.
Yes,
happens more frequently.
Yes.
Oh, you've got fire of creativity. Anyway, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you for letting me and everybody for joining in.
Thank you, everybody, for pulling cards,
investigating. Yeah,
pendulum. Much appreciated.
This has been really interesting, and I hope all of a sudden
I hope everybody has a beautiful Easter
weekend.
My
God, I'm just sorry. Something just happened. Sorry. So I just said, oh my God, chimes just got louder. Earlier today, I called upon my team and asked them, when you have a message for me to pay attention to, because I'm learning that sometimes my passing thoughts are messages and I didn't listen because I thought it was passing thought. I said, please let me hear wind chimes when you have a message for me. So that to me validates all that chills and tingles I was just feeling just now about you and your new path and your new journey. So,
oh, wonderful.
Sorry, I just had that. I mean, out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, it's wonderful.
My remote's over there. That all of a sudden the wind chimes got louder, and it was just like to me. And now I'm getting goosebumps again. Confirmation for you.
Wonderful.
Oh,
I love it. I gobble it up.
Woo! I'm sending you much love and light.
Yes, thank you.
Do you have any lives coming up?
Nope.
No.
I'm just weekly right now with the other ladies with the it's such a long name, but it's the wait a minute, women of,
you told me earlier,
Sisterhood of the Mystic Tarot.
Oh.
There's 7 of us. So
is it a YouTube channel?
The ladies, huh?
Is it a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's
okay.
We hold it on each other's channel. Each week it's a different channel. So last week it was Sherry's Voices from the Swamp. And when it's our week to host, we come up with the topic that we want to discuss with the rest of the other ladies. And sometimes we pull cards, sometimes we don't. This last Wednesday was Sherry wanted to know what, wonderful memories or traditions that you shared or celebrated for Easter, for the Easter holiday.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you didn't celebrate it, were there, because of the pagan traditions of Ostara, what any type of celebration, do you have fond memories of that you would love to share? And we all got to share our memories. And Yvonne and I both showed pictures of us, when we were little with the Easter bunny. And I actually couldn't find it in time, but a couple of years ago, about 10 years ago, maybe, I played the Easter bunny for one of the community places. And unfortunately, I fell down a couple stairs.
Oh, no.
The stairs. And the kids were like, oh, the Easter bunny fell. And I just remember the minute I hit the ground, I just jumped right up and started hopping around going, oh, silly me, so that the kids wouldn't be upset. Because you can't see when your glasses are fogging up. You're trying to see through your glass. But
and you didn't drop an F-bomb or anything. That was very proud of you.
Yes. So and to have the kids holding you and coming up and hugging you, saying, oh, I love you, Easter bunny.
Aww.
Just feeling that beautiful innocence, that pure love.
Just going to say, Jackie, it's got to be past your bedtime. It's like,
oh, yeah. I'm going to have a late dinner tonight. So
yeah, me too. I told the boys, go ahead and eat. I wasn't hungry at the time, but
especially after tonight's read, I really need to eat something to ground me. So
tomorrow on Stouffer Caven's channel, I should have gotten all that information. Jackie, I don't know if you're still there. Can you look up Stouffer's channel? Stouffer, Scott, and myself are going to be doing some live readings tomorrow at 6:00 Eastern time. What time is it? It is 9:14 right now.
Oh, okay, because I can't say anything. But there's going to be something on another person's channel that I have to be at 10 o'clock. So
tonight?
Yes.
Well, let's go.
I can't say. So
okay. Well, anyways, thank you so much.
I will.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I'm not always, happy to revisit certain things, but I hope it was able to answer some questions for you. Oh, good. She did fine. Thank you, Jackie.
There's clarity.
Yeah. So meet us over there, and it'll be fun, 3 of us. But yeah, many blessings to everyone.
Everybody.
Love you all.
Have a great weekend.
And have sweet dreams. This is my new banner.
Yay, thank you.
I love fairy butts. I cannot lie. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love you.